Hello guys, I'm Data and welcome to my channel. New patch for August. I'll try to be as quick as I possibly can. New Platinum collections. There have been already 5 Platinum collections. I've already explained what these ones are. It's just a new Platinum collection with the same rules of the past ones that you can buy for real money. We have a Mech quirk face weapon and then gameplay tweaks. Starting from the most important part, weapon adjustments. The most wanted one, Snub Nose nerf. We have increased the heat from 7 to 8 and the heat penalty from 7 to 10. This is a value that determines how much ghost heat you get when you shoot above the ghost heat limit. This basically means that you cannot alpha strike reliably 3 Snub Noses together anymore unless you have an HSL quirk, but if you don't, you are not going to go around alpha striking 3 Snub Noses or more without, relevant heat with impunity. And there is also a small increase on base level of heat from 7 to 8. Is this enough? It is enough to stop what was happening on the mechs that were going around alpha striking 3 Snub Noses non-stop. Is it enough to stop the real problem, which is the lights and mediums that go around with 2 Snub Noses and 2 SRMs, 3, 4 small lasers? No, not at all. Why? Because the increase in damage that was given to Snub Noses is way more than the heat that is getting increased. We know from what happened on small pulses that once on one weapon you increase the damage by some percentage or whatever percentage amount, and then you increase the heat of the same percentage amount. Even if then you nerf the cooldown to keep the DPS constant, so basically you rise the damage but you keep damage per hit and damage per second constant, the weapon still results massively buffed. What happens here is that the weapon has received a damage buff and we haven't even compensated the heat and the DPS. So even with these nerfs, the weapon has more damage per hit, and more damage per second. So is this going to do anything on those who run 2 snubs and backup small lasers, 2 snubs and backup SRMs? No. This is not nearly enough, and I'm 100% sure that we will have to go through a heavy quirk nerf or alternatively another Snub Nose nerf. This is not nearly enough. This is basically a joke of a nerf. Light machine guns increase the DPS. What's going on? Recently we decreased the critting power of the light machine guns and increased their range. Did they need a DPS increase? No, not at all. The combos, lasers like medium lasers, clan medium pulses, and light machine guns are already incredibly strong. This is a buff for the sake of buffing. It shouldn't have gone through, but it went through. So I expect light mechs like the Incubus, for example, with light machine guns, 5 light machine guns and 2 heavy larges, or 4 light machine guns and 4 clan medium pulses, to be light mechs, light OP breaking the game again. Then, as for the quirks, commandos. Are these power crept? No, but this was an old overperformer, and the fact that now it needs quirks is a clear demonstration that other light mechs have power crept above the old overperformer, and now instead of nerfing them, they added more quirks on the old overperformer. The 2D is the triple missile one, 3 SRM4s. and goes with ammo quirks now. Uh, this one is the Capbot. The 1B is medium pulses and SRM or 3 lights PPCs. And then the Death Knell with 4 medium pulses is going to be fine. The 1D is the whatever one. The 1D is 2 lasers and 2 SRMs. They're all pretty good. It's just that they get farmed by Snub Noses, small pulses, machine guns, light PPCs, because these are missile based, SRM based. And even if we buffed SRMs, they still get farmed by small pulses because small pulses are overbuffed. They still get farmed by snub noses because snub noses are overbuffed. And they still get farmed by light PPCs plus small lasers combos because light PPCs and small lasers are overbuffed. Cougars, well-deserved buffs. These ones, range in the head, laser diversion in the head, they are there because one of the heads has ECM. So there is no point running anything else. You put more quirks in the heads to give them, to give you guys a reason to put a head that is without ECM. Most of these are whatever mechs, like one missile here, one missile there, one laser up, one laser down. They're just destined to be okay-ish mechs. There are two though right now that become seriously strong. The BA, because of the jump duration and the quadrillion ammunition quirk. I don't like these kind of things. Like even 100% is way too much. It's way too much. It kind of fits build that they shouldn't fit. It's like, hey, I like this, so it has to fit because I say so. Fuck you. It just breaks the game. It breaks the feeling, the immersion with the games. If you start fitting on smaller mechs builds that shouldn't fit because they are not meant to go on those mechs. Like 300%, it feels just stupid. I have no other words to describe. It's stupid. And it basically allows you to run the firepower of a heavy mech on a light. You're going to be able to run an Ultra 10 and an Ultra 5 with a quadrillion of quirks. So it's not really an Ultra 10 and an Ultra 5. It's like 2 Ultra 10s and an Ultra 5, maybe even more, because of all the quirks. Jam chance. Now it'll have jump duration. It has cooldown. It's a lot more. Jump duration is very strong. And you have ammunition to shoot them non-stop. So this is pretty strong. We have the Cougar C set of 8. I think this is going to become very strong as well. The Cougar E is already good. 3 are large, high mounts, set of 8, heat and cool down. The C is the vomit one. You can run the set of 8 this way. Medium lasers, 3 medium lasers and 2 heavy large lasers. It's going to receive 15 heat. 15 heat, it's a lot on top of 5 laser duration. So this one is going to become very strong. Same thing here. Are these OP? No, they are not. Do we need to slap into these mechs builds that don't belong to them just because our brain farted up random build, therefore since my brain can imagine it, therefore it has to be good on this mech? No, you're just an idiot if you think like this, fair and square. Hunchback 4G added extra range, whatever. Yeah, that's okay because it was getting shadowed by the 4H. Dervish 6MR nerfed. Thanks God, I asked this, I got this nerfed. Because the 6MR with the 2 MRM30s is just the best MRM boat in the game, and once this exists, no other MRM boat in the game makes sense, because on top of having excellent agility and all the possible quirks that you can think on MRMs, it also has the missile bay doors. to tank more when you're not shooting, so this is just the best. And I think that even with these quirks removed for 2 MRM30s, it's still the best, so we should have nerfed it even farther. Champion hero, you can do an SRM plus Snub build. It's not great right now, it's pretty shit. With this buff, it's gonna become decent. Buffs for the shit Nova Cats. This is gonna be a 4 ER large with some cooldown quirks. They are all down low in the arms. Good for people who like to play with that kind of playstyle. This is just bad. Archer 5S, Pulse Laser Heat, but 2 Pulse Lasers are in the CT, so you cannot do 4 large pulses. It's another whatever mech. Yeah, it's this one. Pulse Laser cooldown, energy range, MR. It's something like MRMs and backup Pulse Lasers. A random mech, whatever. This is the Daka mix with SRMs or Hammer. Again, not power crept, it's decent. This means that you get 20% on the Gauss. It means that you don't need it for Gaussier large combo because they already sync in terms of cooldown, and getting a faster cooldown on Gauss doesn't matter. What you can do is 2 Gauss and 2 large pulse because it syncs the cooldown of the Gauss, and the large pulse is more or less. This one is the Night Star Hero with MRMs. You can try it for MRM30s and 4 Zemal lasers. This one is the shitty Papega Marauder. It didn't use to do anything, therefore it got a crapload of generic like weapon velocity, ballistic range, ballistic velocity. So you can try to see if you can get something out of this. Darwolf A, it's the one that instead of 8 has 3 PPCs and a Gauss, 3 PPCs in one arm, a Gauss in the other arm. It can shoot 3 PPCs in alpha, extra heat. It's a random mech, like, did it need extra heat? No, it didn't. I don't really understand why the guys decided to slap that quirk into the dire. It doesn't really make any sense whatsoever. We can try to find a Darwolf A, B, 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 E, C, W, A. There you go. So, for example, if I happen to do a set of 8 on this, the whole point of this is that you shouldn't be able to alpha strike 4 of these weapons, like 3 ERPPCs and a Gauss like this. You shouldn't be able to alpha strike them. That's why the HSL is set to +1 and not +2. I asked specifically to the guys who designed that if this quirk is going to mean that they will be able to alpha strike these weapons. The answer was no. I hope they didn't fuck it up, because then I don't really comprehend why it needs 10 heat, because with 28 double heat sinks, 3 PPCs are already heat neutral. So I don't really understand why you need 10 heat on this mech. Okay, this is done as well. Let's move forward. Inner Sphere, this is considered a bug. In the past, this was a buff for LRMs. In the past, the fact that you equipped an LRM 20 on a mech, it didn't mean that it would shoot 20 LRMs in one volley, because the mechs had certain stock tubes. So, for example, if a mech had 5 tubes and you mount an LRM 20 there, it would P the LRM 20 in 5 + 5 + 5 + 5. So the fact that they made the weapons change the look of the mech, because it wasn't so in the past, was a massive buff for LRMs. Because then LRMs became capable of being shot altogether, which is basically a massive nerf to AMS. Apparently these two mechs weren't doing this properly because bugged, and now they do it. Narc missile projectile properly uses a missile model similar to IS Narc. It was a ball because it's a default CryEngine object. The file pathing was bugged, and therefore, when the file path is bugged, it shows a default sphere. That's why the Narc missile appeared like that. Now it should look like a proper missile. That's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. If so, remember to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, share the content with your friends, and hit the bell to enable the notifications. I'll catch you guys next time.